Okay, let's do question 59 and 60, and I hope when I do 60 again, that will be a good way of looking at that area in detail again. So let's do quick 59 quickly. So it says here that you have this company absorption costing the budget 120,000 for the year, and it's based on 1,000 machine hours being worked each month. So that's really 1,000 times 12 months, which is 120,000 divided by 12,000, which is £10 per machine hour. Okay, let's see what we're doing here. So this mixing machine takes 2 hours of direct labor. So you have let's just do the direct material first. So your direct material is £30 of that, and then in terms of direct labor, so it takes 2 hours of direct labor, and direct labor is £20 an hour, and then 2 hours of machine hour, 2 hours of machine. Okay, great. So in terms of machines, well, machines are machines, we don't pay them yet. And then we have the overheads, which is spread over machine hours. So there's 2 hours of that, 2 hours of machine hours, I think it says, direct labor, and a mixing machine, 2 hours of machine time. And so we're absorbing at £10 on every machine hour. So we have 30, we have 40, and we have 20. Add them all together, and you have 90. So your answer here is B. Okay, great. And now let's move on to question 60, which is very similar to what we did at 58. So this will be a good way again to practice this. So currently you have these support departments, and then you have these production departments. We're trying to get these guys into the production departments. So we have these existing, we know what they clearly are here. This is not our problem. Our problem is this. And then we're told how these departments how these support departments support, if you like, the production department. So Department X gives 10% of its time to support Department Y, and Department Y gives 20% of its time to support Department Y gives 20% of its time to support Department X. So our first task to know who to split first, so to speak, is which one is bigger. So I'll just come over here. I mean, I haven't done this. When I say I haven't done this beforehand, just because I want to almost prove something here. Oops. So, a second. Discard. Yes. Oops. Where am I? Right. So we're here. Okay, great. So we have here, I'm just going to put here X and Y. So what are we saying here? So X gives 10% of its time. 10% of X would be given to Y, right? X spends, this is what we're told, X spends. So 10% of Y here, this is 20,000. And Y, when we split Y, we would give 20% of Y to X, which is 20% of this, and 20% of 300,000 comes out at 60,000. Right, so I'm just going to split the rest of the costs out very quickly. If I was going to split X, I would give 10% to Y, which is what you see me doing here. I would give 40% of this, right, which would be technically 80, and I'd give the other half 100,000 if I was going to. And then here, basically, if I was going to split Y, I would give 20% to X. There'll be 120,000 here left and 120,000 here left. So the key point here is who do I get rid of first? But this is larger, so it's saying that since this is larger, we get rid of this. This cost is larger. The splitting of Y is yes, the splitting of Y is larger. So we are going to deal with this one first and not the 20,000. So let's split this. Let's split y, because that's what they're telling us, because it's the larger one, right? So the first thing I do is to get rid of y. So when I say get rid of y, I'm going to split y 300,000 first into 60, 120, and 120. So y goes. It's gone. So now I have 260,000, and then I have here, of course this is out there, I have here 1.5, and so I have here 1500 plus 120. I have here 1620, and I have 312000. And literally, now that we've done that, all we have to do is to split x, completely ignoring, again, just between a and b. That's what we're saying. We can now just split x, completely ignore everything now, just focus on what is left. Split x in the ratio of its proportion, so to speak. And it says that when we split x, x gives 40% of its time to A and 50% of its time to B. So we literally take this 260 and we give 4 out of 9 of that to A and 5 out of 9 of that to B. And so when we do that, we have 4 divided by 9, which is that, times 1620. Sorry, 4 divided by 9 times 260,000, which is 11. I get 115555, and then of course the difference, of course, is this minus 260. And here you have 14444.4. This is 0.5, and so the new total allocation, the full cost of production A, would be 1620000 plus 155555, and you get 1735556. And so the answer is B. And the answer is B. And that's how we do this. So the key point here is, as soon as we've gotten rid of one department, we get rid of the other. We just completely, we just focus on the allocative percentages of the last bits of what's left. We don't, if you like, we don't come back and do any reallocation. This is the specified order of closure. And when it says specified order here is based on amounts, right? And the larger amount, if you like, that we needed to split was Y's allocation of what we gave X from Y. So X's share of Y, and that was larger. And so because that was larger, that was how we do it. So your first task really is to always deal with that first, and once you know which one is larger, then the rest is pretty much straightforward. So I suggest you go over this question again and just kind of make sure you're happy with it first, and then it just becomes pretty straightforward. Okay, great stuff. And that's kind of question 60, 59 and 60 done. So we'll be looking at the next set of tasks.